then minimize this. No. Open up this one here and okay, very good. Okay, so I just want to show you now this, okay? This is the 19th Sphenic number, and I talked about this before. A Sphenic number is actually a triprime, but the prime factors, triprime means it has 3 prime roots. The 3 prime roots are distinct primes. Okay, so if we do that, if we just get those out of the domain of the triprimes, just the ones that have 3 distinct prime factors. The first one is 30. The second one is 42, because 30 is 2 times 3 times 5, and 2, 3, and 5 are distinct primes. 8 is a triprime, but it's 2 times 2 times 2. They are not distinct. You see the way God is? This is amazing, okay? So when we do that, the 19th Sphenic prime is 195. And 195 is the numerical value of K+H+Y+A+S in Surah 19. Okay? And you can verify this for yourself. That's 195. 195 super prime is 9619. And Surah 96 has 19 verses, so this immediately gives us the fact that chapter 96, which was the first chapter that was revealed, has 19 verses. Okay? And I've talked about this branch of it. This goes on. 96:19 just goes on and generates a lot of other stuff that we discussed before. And I don't want to do that because I have other things to show today. Okay? In mathematics, a prime number p is called a Chen prime if p plus 2 is either a prime or a product of 2 primes, also called a semi-prime. Okay? This is the definition of a Chen prime. And this is just copied from Wiki page. Okay, so you can go to Google and say Chen prime, and then it takes you to the Wiki page, and you click on that Wiki page and it takes you to Chen prime page, and then you can actually look it up, and the definition is right here, so I'll just cut and paste it. Now, are we finished? No, because now there is a subgroup of these Chen primes. And the first few Chen primes that are not the lower number of a prime of a twin prime are 2, 7, 13, 19, 23, and so on. What does that mean? That means that if I add 2 to 2, if I add 2 to 2, it becomes 4. 4 is 2 times 4, 2 times 2. Okay? So that's a semi-prime. Okay? 5 is not like that, because if I add 5 to 2, it becomes 7. 7 is a prime, so I want to throw that out. You see the blue one up there has 2, 3, 5, 7. This one has 2, 7. It doesn't have the 3 and 5 in there because they were eliminated, because they create a twin prime. So you take those out. The next one is 13. 11 is not, because 11 plus 2 is 13. 13 is a prime number. Okay? So you throw that one out. So 13 plus 2 is 15, but 15 is 3 times 5, so you keep that. So you just go on like this, and then you make these primes tabulated with their indices or on the web, and you can actually see these things. So if we look at 195, such prime is 3491. But guess what 3491 is? 3491 is the number of verses in the uninitial surahs in the Quran. Can you believe this? Okay. And it actually did this because it wants to prove to you that 9 has 127 verses, because 9 is amongst the uninitial surahs in the Quran. It did not generate 2743, which is the number of verses the initial surahs, because that's not the argument. God says He is the possessor of the most powerful argument. So 195 which has this property, is the 19th Sphenic prime, is the numerical value of the initials in Surah 19. Those sets of initials is the longest sets of initials in the Quran. 5 letters. Okay. And then it tells you that 96 is supposed to have 19 verses, but it also eliminated 2 false verses, and it comes to 3491. Which again, God says 9 has 127 verses. That is amazing. That's absolutely amazing. And now you see this layers after layer that you can just, go through. Okay. You lift one layer, and underneath it there is another structure. Underneath that there is another structure. So these numbers are actually providing a book that you can read. That you can go through that book and learn about it and get wisdom from it and understand it. And in order for you to be able to glorify God and extol Him constantly, as we did in chapter 72, verse 28. Like the fact that He's assigned a number to all things, or everything. So here we can actually see that with our own eyes. And that's the amazement that we go through every week almost. And we see these signs. And so, again, we have 2 options. Okay, we say, okay, well, it's okay, but it's not going to affect me at all. Okay. And then we have another option that this actually teaches us something that we didn't know before. We didn't know this before. This part that I just showed. Oh, come on. Okay. This part that I just showed today, I sort of hashed it here. This part we didn't know. I didn't know this till a couple of days ago. So when I saw 3491, I said, oh my God, this is amazing. I mean, even the way that you can actually tabulate these primes are becoming infinitely many ways that you can do that, but it keeps coming at 9619. It keeps on all these Quranic numbers, and it comes with these 9127 over and over again, with 4253, okay, with 5924, with 4537, with 4635, and so on. It tells you how many chapters, how many verses in this chapter, in this chapter, in this chapter. Okay. So the people who are claiming otherwise, they have to also prove to you that their methodology actually tells you that chapter 42 is supposed to have 53 verses. Okay. That's the challenge. If they cannot do that, then forget it. You don't have to have time to waste it. But again, this, as I said, is that we have to be so grateful for, again, giving us that thing. But today, we actually look at the whole thing in a completely different way. In a way that actually worthy of God's attributes. Okay. So very well. Okay. I'm going to stop here and we'll go ahead and do the rest of our Jum'ah.